The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Welcome to the David Pakman Show. We are live on YouTube. Hi to everyone watching from the We Survive Bush, You'll Survive Obama Facebook page, as well as the I Love It When I Wake Up in the Morning and Barack Obama is President page. Tonight is the third of 3 presidential debates. Barack Obama will be there. Mitt Romney will be there. Jill Stein will probably not be there unless she wants to get arrested once again. Jill Stein, who is the Green Party presidential candidate, showed up at Hofstra University for the second presidential debate. She tried to enter the debate grounds and she was arrested along with her running mate Sherry Hankala. We have some video and audio of this, of the arrest. It was a very peaceful, nonviolent arrest, but it is certainly representative of a really significant problem, which we're going to delve into in a second here. Let's take a look and a listen at this.
We want to get into the debates.
But you're blocking traffic, so you refuse to move.
Our First
All right,
Amendment
John.
rights. Thank you.
Remove them, bring them back to the room.
Come on, just stand up, please. Stand up, we'll help you.
Gently. Thank you, ladies.
Watch the flag, please.
Thank you, ladies.
Who's part of that? Thank you.
Come with us.
Just come with us.
Thank you. You guys got to stay here.
All right, everybody, we're going to ask you to please move back. We're going to open up.
All right, so there's the arrest taking place, very casual. It's funny because nobody really even seems to, even the officers realized, well, what are we doing here, arresting these 2 women? I know we have to do it because it's the law and we're here as representatives of law enforcement, but what are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm just glad no one was kicked in the face, punched in the face, body slammed, maced, or shot.
Casual pepper spray cop, Lieutenant John Pike, was seen running up to this arrest, completely out of breath, holding 2 cans of pepper spray, saying, wait, I'm here. And they said, sorry, it's too late.
Too late, buddy.
They've been taken away already. So this is, why is Jill Stein not at the debates? The reason she's not at the debates is that according to the rules, of course, which are set by many of the same people who want to maintain the status quo in the 2-party electoral system, are that you must be garnering 15% in the national polls in order to participate in these national debates. Now, I started thinking about this. We've seen over the last, I don't know, very long time, presidential elections at the popular vote level tend to see a difference. In other words, the winning margin is sometimes as big as 5 percentage points. Sometimes it's as small as almost nothing, right? We're talking about a few hundred votes in Florida, for example. When you have a difference-making barometer, when the amount of votes that it could take to make a difference is between almost 0 and 5%, to require 5 times that, depending on where you're at in that spectrum, 3, 5, 10, 15 times that, 15% to even be in the debates, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Let me give you another example. Let's say we were looking at poison in food, and we know that there's certain amounts of products that are dangerous in foods, and we said, okay, we've determined that these 10 things which are potentially harmful if they're in food are harmful if they exist at more than 5 parts per million. Fair enough. And then we had the FDA or someone else say, well, you only have to list ingredients that are in there above 50 parts per million. We'd say, hold on a second. Something can be bad for you at 5 parts per million, and it doesn't even have to be listed unless it's 50 parts per million. A different situation, but it's an analogy which tells us if 2% can make a difference, why do you need for 15% to be in the debates? And it goes to further the idea that you're never going to get to 15 if you keep people out, right? That's really what's going on.
And that your example actually does happen all the time with food.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean everything is stacked against third-party candidates, and it's not just the laws that have been put in place by the people who want to keep things the same. I mean, it's just our culture. It's going to be very hard to get any type of change.
Well, there's one part of it. We need the third-party candidates in the debates, and we hope to have Jill Stein on soon, and hopefully we can talk to her about this. But there's also another part, which is the hesitation to vote for these candidates because you say, well, hold on. If I'm voting for Jill Stein, my number 2 option is Barack Obama. So essentially, I'm helping Mitt Romney in this particular election, even if I'm voting for the Green Party. So if they get 5% support, they'll get federal funding next election. You don't want to rely, if your goal in having a third-party candidate, if you're on the left, is to have someone more left, or if you're on the right, to have someone more right than the Republican candidate, you would be scared or weary of really pushing that, because if the other side isn't also pushing somebody, you risk hurting the guy that's at least closer to your views. This is really the paramount problem, isn't it, Natan?
Yeah, and I think this kind of proves that, a first-round runoff voting situation would be a lot better, and also to be able to have a second choice. So people could say, for example, my first choice is Jill Stein, but if she doesn't get a plurality, my second choice is Obama, and the same on the right. Instant
runoff voting would be absolutely what we need, in conjunction with more reasonable limits for what it takes to get a third-party candidate in. I think, I don't think
campaign finance reform.
Along with campaign finance reform. But putting that aside for a second, I don't think if you have 0.5% support in national polls, it warrants you necessarily being at the final 3 presidential debates. However, the burden can't be 15. It has to be, 4%, 5%. If in an average of national polls, you've got 3, 4, 5% support, we've got to talk about some system that allows those people to participate, because being on the national stage in the first place is what's going to push them over the 5% they need to get federal funding the next election. It's got to happen, Liz.
Right.
We can't continue the charade.
Yeah, if you're talking just plain numbers, too, 5% of the entire population is pretty substantial.
No question about it. That's not just, me writing in Louis Motamedi one year.
Right.
Very, very different. We've got to talk about this further. We're going to continue talking about it after the election, no matter who wins, and we hope to have Jill Stein on.